On the night of August 8, 1963, train driver Jack Mills was having what seemed like a completely normal shift. He was driving his Royal Mail train from Glasgow toward London at full speed. Suddenly, in the darkness of the night, he noticed that the signal light ahead had turned red. The area around was completely deserted, surrounded only by forest. For the first time that night, a strange fear crept into Jack's mind. And the reason was the compartment in his train carrying cash worth £67 million. In today's value, that would be around 800 Indian rupees crore. Even though he didn't want to, Jack stopped the train after seeing the red signal. For a few seconds, everything was silent. Then suddenly, noises began coming from the nearby bushes, and what followed became one of the greatest train robberies of all time. The robbers not only stole the money but practically hijacked the train itself, without firing a single bullet. But before we get into the main story, it's important to understand why so much cash was in the train in the first place. Back then, Royal Mail trains were quite unique. Along with letters, they often transported money orders and large amounts of cash, which were dropped off city by city. This money was kept in a separate compartment known as the high-value packages compartment. Normally, this compartment was placed right behind the engine. The biggest twist was that, apart from the train driver and a few selected officials, no one knew when a Royal Mail train was carrying this high-value compartment. And this is where our mystery man enters the story. Months before the robbery, this unknown person met criminal mastermind Bruce Reynolds and informed him that on August 7, 1963, a Royal Mail train would travel from Glasgow to London with a high-value package compartment attached. We'll talk more about this mystery man later, but first, let's understand Bruce Reynolds. Bruce was a highly intelligent criminal who had carried out several robberies in the past. He had his own team, but the problem was that he had never executed a train robbery before. For this, he needed experienced people. So he hired another gang called the South Coast Raiders, who already had experience looting trains. Gradually, the team grew. Some members had railway knowledge, while others specialized in planning. Soon, it became a full operation of 15 people. Their goal was simple: steal all the money without firing a single bullet. 3 minutes and 10 seconds. On August 7, 1963, at around 6:50 p.m., the Royal Mail train departed from Glasgow Central Station. It had 12 coaches, and inside them, 72 postal workers were sorting letters and parcels. Interestingly, this train did not stop at stations. Instead, parcels were picked up and dropped off while the train was moving using a hook-like mechanism. However, the most important part of the train, the high-value package coach, had not yet been attached. It was waiting safely at Nuneaton railway station. The mystery man had even informed Bruce's gang exactly where this coach would be attached so they wouldn't attempt the robbery too early. You might wonder, if a coach was carrying so much cash, shouldn't it have strong security? Well, 3 years earlier, in 1960, the Post Office Investigation Branch had ordered security alarms to be installed in all such coaches. But despite strict instructions, alarms were installed in only 3 of them. The rest were kept as reserve coaches. On the night of the robbery, the alarm-equipped coach was declared out of service, and a reserve coach, without any alarm system, had to be used instead. For Bruce, this was nothing less than a gift. And it wasn't just coincidence, the mystery man had already informed him about this. 5 minutes and 19 seconds. The train reached Nuneaton, and the high-value package coach was attached right behind the engine. It contained more than 800 Indian rupees crore in cash. Soon after leaving the station, Bruce and his team were ready to execute their plan. Around 3 a.m. on August 8, one gang member covered the green signal light and placed a small red battery light on top of it. The rest of the gang hid in the bushes nearby, waiting for the train. As planned, the train stopped at the red signal. Jack Mills waited calmly. His assistant stepped out to use the trackside telephone to contact the signalman, but the wires had already been cut by the gang. As the assistant turned back toward the train, the gang attacked. Half of them entered the engine cabin and struck Jack Mills on the head, knocking him unconscious. The rest captured the assistant and tied him up. Another team uncoupled the first 2 coaches from the remaining 12. Their plan was to take the engine and the high-value coach about 1 kilometer ahead to Bradego Bridge, where trucks and equipment were already waiting. Everything was going perfectly until a problem arose. They had brought an older train driver to operate the engine, but he admitted he didn't know how to control this newer system. With no other option, Bruce woke the injured Jack Mills and threatened him. Despite his severe head injury, Jack slowly drove the train to Bradego Bridge and stopped it there. The remaining 10 coaches and workers had no idea what had happened ahead. At the bridge, more gang members were waiting. They broke open the high-value coach and tied up the postal workers inside. Some staff members were seriously injured. Inside the coach were 128 large bags filled with cash, mostly 10 pounds and 5 pounds notes, totaling nearly 20 tons. The gang formed a human chain and began loading the bags into trucks parked under the bridge. They had exactly 15 minutes before the police would be alerted. Working like machines, they managed to load 120 out of the 128 bags. Due to lack of time, they had to leave 8 behind. Now it was time to escape. Before leaving, they warned everyone on the train not to move for at least 30 minutes. The gang also used identical numbered Land Rovers to confuse anyone who might see them. By 4:30 a.m., they had reached their safe house, a farmhouse located 43 kilometers away. At the safe house, they celebrated. Some even started playing Monopoly using real money. But suddenly, news came through the VHF radio. Police had launched a massive search within a 50-kilometer radius of the bridge. How did the police guess this area? Because the robbers had told everyone to stay still for 30 minutes, the police calculated they couldn't have traveled farther than about 50 kilometers in that time. Panic spread among the gang. Their original plan was to stay hidden until Sunday, but now they decided to leave by Friday. They counted the money and divided it equally. Each member received roughly 40 Indian rupees crore in today's value. They cleaned the safe house carefully to remove fingerprints. One member was assigned to burn it down after everyone left, but he got scared and ran away without doing it. Meanwhile, the police were searching everywhere with helicopters. They even announced a £10,000 reward for information. This move worked. Someone reported unusual activity at a nearby farmhouse the previous night. Police raided the farmhouse and found strong evidence. Empty money bags, equipment, and a truck hastily painted yellow. But the biggest clue was a Monopoly board game. Although the robbers had wiped fingerprints everywhere, prints were still left on the game cards. Since most of them were already known criminals, their identities were easily matched in police records. One by one, the gang members were arrested. Within weeks, 14 out of 16 people were caught. Only the mystery man and the elderly driver were never identified. The court declared it the robbery of the century, and those arrested were sentenced to 30 years in prison. Bradego Bridge later became known as the Train Robbers Bridge. Jack Mills, the train driver, never fully recovered from his injuries and passed away 7 years later. And that was the story of one of the most mysterious and greatest train robberies of the century.